What's going on? How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully, you're all doing well. And we're already 30 strong. Thank you so much for everybody that's tuning in right now. We do have a special guest edition today. Don't think I need these right now, at least not now. But yeah, throw us all your scent of the night, scent of the days. How's everybody doing this Thursday? We are almost at the end of April here. Man, the year is it's flying by. 2025. I don't know if I could do a top 10 2025 releases right now on my channel. I'm sure a lot of influencers have, but not me. I don't think I can. I don't think there's enough good fragrances that came out already this year. So everybody's coming in saying hi. What's going on, everybody? Now, let's hit up the rules first. We always have to talk about the rules before we do anything. We got to respect the guest, right? Respect the streamer, but respect the guest. Any rude comments towards myself or any live guest will get the boot. And we do have a special guest today that is very, very much a well, he does have a wrench. So he is a moderator on my channel. So he's not going to be doing any moderating, but I do see Muse is in the chat, and Muse is going to be taking care of some people, hopefully. Hopefully he doesn't have to use that wrench. Moderators, of course, we just ask everybody to respect each other in the chat. If it goes out of hand, do what you can. But definitely if there's two parties just going at it and they just can't stop, you got to go outside. But if you got to do it in my chat, then the moderators got to do their thing. Just give them a little timeout action. Let them know. We don't want, as much as we like seeing comments in the chat, because it all helps the algorithm. It's not good for everybody else, and it floods it a little bit for me. So that goes to the etiquette, which we encourage respectful communication. And of course, bring out your questions, right? We do have a special guest that I'm going to get to know, and you're going to get to know as well. Questions, I always want to reserve a time for questions and answers during all lives. This one is more of a Q&A. I want to get to know this reviewer, this person, and hopefully you as well. Respect, of course, no racism, homophobia, or sexism in the chat, and enjoy. Hopefully we're going to learn new things, new brands, maybe new fragrances, maybe. You never know. All right. And it's not just me now. It's going to be somebody else. And it's always nice to learn, even myself. So hopefully we have fun. And of course, since we do have a guest, their views and opinions expressed are solely their own. So they don't reflect the views and opinions of myself from my channel. So that's always a given. I can't tell my guests what to say. So if they go a little crazy on me, I just want to let you know. I'm not assuming that today, but let's introduce our guest today. It is Lenny from his YouTube channel, the Man Cologne. Let's get him on stage here. Let's remove these rules. And there he is. And he is in mute.
Family.
Let's unmute you first. What's going on, buddy?
Good, brother. Good. I was really happy to be here. I can't say nothing but excitement because, obviously as being a reviewer, I had to watch people before I reviewed, right? So you were one of the key people I looked at that I can always buy something that you recommended. Jubilation 25, kerosene. I bought a bunch of Dias and Durgas that you recommended. I didn't even pull them out, So I bought countless fragrances. So it's just an honor to be on your channel because obviously, like I was saying, I know you more than you know me because you haven't ever watched me till I started putting up, videos. But you, on the other hand, I've been watching for years,
Well, that's the whole point of this, to kind of get to know you. The one thing I did notice, and that's, you're very positive. I kind of see your name sometimes popping into other content creators. We're kind of losing that sense of community. We kind of lost it. We lost it. It seems like the same clicks click together. The big dogs, when we used to have a collaborative effort with the big dogs that would actually, talk to small channels and have them on their channel. It's no longer. It's a very much a me, myself, and I kind of attitude, and it's kind of nice. Like that's what wanted me to. That's why you have a wrench on my channel, is because that's the thing that drew me to you. Is that I would see your name at like somebody had 500 subscribers, or somebody had like 10,000 or 20,000. I would always see your name pop up. So that's one thing that I just wanted to kind of let you know that I appreciate that from you.
Thank you. I didn't even know that. That's actually interesting to hear. Had no
Well, I
idea.
got, I got, I got my, what do they say? You got your ear to the ground kind of thing.
Yeah.
This is a community that I was part of building. So I kind of scoured. I kind of know the ground, so I kind of see what people do around. So we got our people in. We're 40 strong already. Early in this stream, which is great. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, like the stream. It encourages me to do more of these, to get more people on here, more guests. And we already got Fragrance Connoisseur telling us what's going on, and scent of the day, Carissa Flower by Amarud. So we got a couple people in, but Lenny, the one thing I want to kind of start it off with
Okay.
is and again for me personally as well. And I'm going to link your channel at some point here. I don't have it in front of me, but maybe when you're speaking, I can put it in the chat for people to subscribe to you. But I kind of wanted to know, like, just give us a little short story of who you are. And again, you don't have to go into obviously stuff
Uh,
that you want to keep hidden a little bit. I don't mind that. Your privacy is your privacy. Tell us who you are, what got you into this, and a little bit of an intro of yourself.
Perfect. All right. So, when I was young, growing up, I was born in '77. So I have on one side of my family, I got 13 aunts and uncles. On the other side, I got six aunts and uncles. So when I was growing up, they were all going out. So imagine in the '80s, I'm smelling pretty much every fragrance that I can get my hands on because they're buying them. They're putting them on. I would
Yeah.
go to my father's bureau, take his fragrance, spray it on. So this has been like a thing for me since I was little. It's just been something because of the adults around me, right? And then my mother giving me money to buy my own fragrances when I was younger. I remember one Christmas she gave me a bag full of like 50 fragrances.
Oh, wow.
They were selling something crazy in Macy's, and she gave me that. So yeah, I've always had a nice little collection even when I was young. And then obviously I went kind of crazy, but it was a hobby first, still is today. And that's kind of how my love for fragrances went. And then seeing guys like you up here for years, I was seeing you guys. There were so many content creators that I could look back and be like, wow, they were so good. Today, it's just like, I don't know, the money ruined the talent.
Right.
You know.
So, as far as YouTube goes, like how what made you want to do a channel?
Well, like I said, seeing a lot of reviewers that I have respect for, like I have a like top five reviewers. Even though some of them have changed because of their success, and I also don't believe in this, right? Like I don't think a content creator should buy every fragrance, especially if people are looking for him to give you a review on every single fragrance. I only buy what I like. Why would
Right.
I buy something I don't like? Doesn't
Right.
make sense to me.
Right.
So at that point, if you want me to judge a fragrance that I don't like that I don't want to buy with my own money, I got to get that for free. Sorry.
So you
You
have
know
a
what I mean?
different philosophy than I do then. which
Well,
yours makes a lot more sense than mine.
I just, I just feel like, if I'm buying something, it's because I want it, right? Now, why am I buying 10 other fragrances that I really don't want? I'm not
Good point.
saying they're bad or that they don't smell good. I'm saying I don't want them. So for me to do a review on a fragrance that I don't want, it must be given to me.
Right.
Look,
See, I go ahead.
I bought Bodacious from Bodicia because I got it for 220. Got it for as cheap as I saw it. And this is my first one. I said, you know, I didn't see no good Serge Lutens that I wanted to buy, but I still got this for $200 and it doesn't really hurt my pockets to spend $200 on a fragrance. Like, it's not like, oh my God, I did this. And no, okay, cool. I did it. I bought it. It's not, I'm not, I don't advise spending that much. I put a budget of like 300 a month if I want to spend on
Mm,
fragrances.
yeah. Well,
I don't really.
it's always smart to budget. I've always had like, well, always. I'd say like when I first started on YouTube, I was on a budget. I put myself on a budget since day one, since I've been on YouTube, to make sure that it doesn't go out of control. But then you're looking at behind me and you're probably like, Mark, what the hell? What is your budget, bro? But this is a collection through, right? You saw me on this platform in my 20s, and I already
Yeah.
had a pretty big collection back then. So this is not like 6 months of work. This is not Latafa sending me 140 bottles in a box because they want me to be a sponsored reviewer.
Actually, I think you're the first person to do 100 fragrance video, one shot.
Yeah.
Remember that video you did?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, that
You did
was
100.
dude,
Yeah,
people keep asking to do another one of those. Like
yeah.
that's all they
So
want.
yeah. So yeah, exactly. Right. So yeah, I'm telling you, man, I've been watching you guys for years and watching y'all and the skill set that was around back then, it was just so much better. Now it's listen, and another thing I'm gonna say as well, I never buy a fragrance because it's gonna get me lucky. I've never in my life bought a fragrance because I think, oh, this is gonna do it for me. No. Now, yes, I would say that certain fragrances, girls act wild too. Doesn't mean all of them, but some of them, I wear them, girls act different.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've never purchased something to say, oh, I'm gonna get tonight. I've never had that mindset. Yeah. I don't disrespect what no one's doing because I get it. It's a business and people want to be entertained. So, hey, listen, if that's what they want, I mean, what are you gonna do? You
Yeah.
can't fight the world,
No.
you
No.
know.
So we got our first super chat. Look at me. I'm doing my best Mr. Smelly impression here. But it's actually funny enough, it's Smelly that actually gave me
Yeah.
$5. Thanks, brother. So he had a question, and I'm assuming it's for both of us, but I'll let the guest take over. I don't know if you see the question, but I can say it.
I don't.
Uh,
I don't.
are brands moving away
Oh,
from being creative by doing extras of popular fragrances versus new creations?
I
So even talking about elixirs and stuff like that, like are they no longer creative because they are flankering up with different
yeah.
concentration?
Here's the thing about creativity, right? Back in the days when I was buying fragrances in the 80s, when something came out, it came out with time. It wasn't, and there wasn't a new release every day. Last year was like what, over 6,000 new different fragrances.
Yeah.
That's insane. That
Wow.
means there's a lot of, to me, I see a lot more like they're trying to prey on insecurity. Not people. They're not really thinking about it. It's the companies keep, preying on, oh, this is gonna get you this is gonna do this for you, this, and this. And it's none of that. You supposed to buy things you like, not have a new fragrance every 2 days. Like that doesn't really make sense. It's like, and then that goes to where every fragrance house is making someone else's best fragrance. So if you look at Bodicia, I do like this fragrance I purchased today. Smells really good to me, especially for what I paid, $220. I didn't pay no 300, 400, 5, 6. And I'm not saying that anything wrong. If you can afford that and you want it, you do what you want. It's your money, you
Yeah.
know. But what do you expect from what we're getting? There's no real talent like that out there. It's just the same. Every other fragrance is the same. Copy this, copy that. There's no more. There's not. There isn't too much. This is something really, really new.
Yeah, and right, like and this is not anything new, honestly. Right, and it really started, I think, more well. And again, it's nothing new. Like when something's a top seller, people are going to copy it. Obviously, clones are a lot more prevalent now, and I think I still blame the designer brands for that, but that's just me. That they actually gave a lane to these clone brands. Clone and dupes used to be at Chinese markets, street vendors. There was no millions and millions of sales in a
Yeah,
month.
yeah,
Half a arm off. Like these guys now are making, they're taking all the money from the Hugo Bosses. They're taking all the money from the Jean Paul Gaultiers instead of charging the consumer $100 for their bottles, their fragrances. Now they're trying to charge us 200, and because of lack of sales on those products, I'm not saying that they're not popular, but now like the Jean Paul Gaultiers don't have to sell as much. But now those sales are going to the Latafas and the Armoffs that are cloning them. Like when you were $100 and you were at a discounter for like 70, 60, it didn't really give much room to the clone houses, right? Right.
exactly.
Like Hugo Boss fragrance retailed for $100 in my way, like $100 Canadian, right? Brand new Hugo Boss, Boss bottled. And then at a discounter, it would go trickle right down to like $50, $40 Canadian. So why would I buy a clone for $30? Really? There's no reason. But now a Hugo Boss fragrance, new Boss bottles come out, they're $200 Canadian. Well, the price gap's like this. So right, and going back to Smelly in regards to creativity, it was always like that. I think now it's more. It's not even a flanker anymore because it's just different concentration. These brands are going from eau de toilette, EDP, Parfum edition, Elixir edition of their top sellers. But then, they're branching out flanker after flanker. Like even flankers are getting flankers. So, like,
Yeah,
case in point, Yves Saint Laurent released L'Homme, and then they released La Nuit de l'Homme. That was supposed to be a flanker of L'Homme, and it was actually selling better than L'Homme. But they're like, oh shit, what do we do? So now it branched off to make its own line. And then other brands were like, oh, okay. So a flanker that's a top seller can do this. And we've seen this, right? In multiple brands like Jean Paul Gaultier, Le Male, Le Beau. Le Beau was a
yeah.
flanker to Le Male. They made it a little fresher, and then they're just like, oh shit, it's its own thing now. So now it's completely different, right? It just went sideways. So new
I want to.
creations, I don't know, like it's
Yeah,
hard because they're taking a risk. These brands don't want to take risks. They don't,
I wanted to
right?
add something to that. I wanted to add one
Sure.
thing to that. If you look at the timeline, let's say right from the 80s to 90s, 2000s, and what we got today, maybe some brands were picking at each other because that's kind of the business because you can't patent or do anything like that with like doing combinations of fragrances. But there was a lot of home run hitters in the 80s, 90s that stood the test of time, and then there was just no more creativity. Like there wasn't no more. Like if you would actually drop the original Jean Paul Gaultier today, man, they will crush a lot of fragrances.
Yeah.
That
Oh yeah.
original, yeah, it would crush a lot of fragrances. To me, if you drop the original Obsession, the original Eternity, Dior Fahrenheit, talking about niche, yo, so imagine Dior Fahrenheit came on like what, like 87, 88, something like that, right? So I was
Yeah.
like 10 years old. So I used to go to my boy's house and his brother used to always go out clubbing. So that was his fragrance. Yo, that thing smelled like if you went to the gasoline station, took the nozzle out, and just pressed the button. what it smells like.
That's awesome.
Yo, yeah.
That's awesome,
So
by the way.
that was I was like, oh, I was like, yeah, I can't buy that fragrance. That's the only one in the 80s that was like, that going out fragrance, that popular fragrance that I couldn't because I was too young. Because it smelled like literally you just took the nozzle out and you just and you just hold it and the gas is flying. That's what it smelled like. I mean, it did dry down super amazing, but the opening was insane. Yeah.
Mm,
So that part of the stage, and then the 90s with the curve, when the original curve dropped, that was a banger. Aqua de Gio, if you would have dropped that today, I feel like that'll be crushing things. The original formulation, not what you get today. So I think there was certain spots in those eras that were just, great fragrances. And then now it's, copy me, copy this, right? And overpricing,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. The big problem, of course, is these niche brands are owned by these big brands. So LVMH owns, Dior and Francis K's line. L'Oreal owns a bunch of them. So it really watered down the product, honestly. And all these designer brands now have privé lines, which the early privé lines, and I'm talking about like Hermes, and we're not talking really far back here, Chanel, Dior, and etc. The ones that had the early privé lines, the privé lines were made for to be almost a competition to the niche brands. So, those early fragrances were um, unique and
Yeah,
interesting, but now it's so watered down that it's like, right, like Dior Privés, right? They
yeah, yeah.
kind of smell like the regular Diors, basically.
It's
Right? It's
unfortunate.
starting, and it's like Baby Cat. Well, Baby Cat kind of smells like a Maison Margiela fragrance. Maison Margiela, like it's all rinse and repeat. So, niche really changed throughout my journey on YouTube. When I first started, it was, they were just little niche brands. You got to dig. There's still always, something interesting getting released, but like even myself with my little sampling samples videos that I do, I just take whatever's new. I go pluck, pluck, pluck. I don't care about what brand you are, who's doing what. I don't care if I have zero interest. Like I'm doing one on, I think the new Y, Invictus Victory, whatever. Zero hopes, but
I know.
until you sniff it, I there is times that I'm just looking at the sticker and I'm just like, oh, really? This is what I'm going to be smelling this week. And then you
Oh
open it, and you're
man,
like, what the hell? You're like, wow,
yeah,
it's
yeah. No,
actually not bad. Um,
I'm I'm laughing because I remember you had the YXL, the parfum. I actually like the fragrance, but when you smelt it, yeah, I thought you were gonna,
mm,
instead of saying Kobe, it looked like you wanted to throw that bottle and burn it at the same time. I was laughing in that video, man. So you saying
dude,
that has me thinking about that.
dude. Sometimes I'm just like, what am I doing?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, just to answer Beach Life here, is there a better sea salty fragrance than Healy's Sel Marin? Absolutely not. I smelt that in 2011, maybe. That's an early fragrance in my journey. And those are things that I actually, knowing me and how much I smell and how much I buy and how much I value great fragrances. If you're in the top spot and you've held on to that top spot for 10, 15 years,
That's a lot.
you're doing something right. And Sel Marin, I don't like aquatics. People know this. I absolutely hate them. Most of them smell kind of cheap. This aquatic is absolutely like Mr. Healy has my respect off that and Mount Fresh, the mint based fragrance, which are both number ones in each category. But maybe Lenny, you have an aquatic that you is your number one. Which are you an aquatic guy, first of all?
I think that's my weak spot in my collection.
Hmm. Okay.
Aquatics. I always say I gotta buy more summer fragrances.
Yeah.
I have some staple stuff, but I don't have a big aquatic. I'm more of the dark fragrances. You know, I like resins. Yeah, I like, because I live in New York, and if I go out somewhere, I like the party fragrances as well. But I'm more into like dark, deep, resinous, crazy fragrances. That's like my
Like
what I
me.
really crave. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
But I do like everything. I don't really have a. I'm not like. Well, I don't like pricing. That's what the one thing I would say, like, is we're getting too hit in the head with these fragrances. Um, and but I like all genres, except I'm not a big clone guy. You know,
okay.
for me, I'd rather buy a bunch of curves. I did this so we can all have a good time. I know you like curve, so
Uh,
I'm just trying to show the fans that we have curve. And if you just want to smell good for really cheap, you can buy a bunch of these. Look, I have a couple more. Hold on, guys. You see, we got curve for you guys. You can just wear this, and
yeah. Do you have the OG?
to me, I don't think so. No, it's black.
What? What?
I don't
You
have
got
the OG here, but
you got to get
I
the
have a
OG.
yeah. I don't have the OG, man. I don't know. Sorry about that. But there's six curves. Like, and for me, I'd rather buy something like this for the gym, for anything that I want to do. That, because to me, wearing an expensive fragrance to the gym is not smart either. Because you're dealing with better materials and that raw quality, and when you're sweating at that level, you're not going to smell good.
Right. Right.
That's just my experience, my skin.
Did we even introduce our set of the nights? I don't think we did.
No, I didn't. I don't think I did.
Oh, go ahead. Guess first.
Well, since I bought this I got this today. I wore this today. Bodacious from the house of Victor Victorious, whatever. Sorry, Boadicia. Sorry.
Yeah. And for me, I'm going talking about cheapies. Boom.
Oh, nice.
CKB, one of my high school scents back in the day. And my arms smell like this, Aventus. I just
Ooh,
decanted this today after work for the decant site. They sent me this, but
nice.
I got some spilt on me, so I got a little bit of Ventus with CKB. So it works. It works. We're not
Yeah, it
going
definitely
anywhere.
works.
Um, beach life. I've been in this community for exactly 10 years. It's changed so much. It was better pre-COVID, but I'm still having, and that's the important part, right? You're going to see some ugliness in the community, things like that. But and that's the thing. Subscribe to who you like, who you enjoy, and enjoy the hobby. You don't even have to subscribe to anybody, honestly. But if you have to subscribe, at least subscribe to this gentleman over here, this guy,
Thank you.
not me. You're hopefully already subscribed to me. Talking about subscribing, go check out my Discord. I am going to put that link down below. We're both in that Discord. Great place to have. It's brand new. I think I got like 120 people, which is great. We are 70 strong right now in this live, which is nice to see. I hear the NFL draft is today, so we might not have too many people on board. Didn't know about that. I'm not an NFL guy. I do watch, I do watch a little bit of it, Super Bowl mostly. But yeah, I guess I could see that. But yeah, let's see if there's anybody else that has anything. But Lenny, I know that you wanted to talk about a few things.
Yeah.
I do have those questions somewhere. Where are they? We kind of touched upon you wanted to talk about a little bit about the price inflation and things like that. I don't know if you had anything else to add because we touched upon it a little bit here.
Yeah, actually, I do. I want to tell people like this. Like, you seen the whole purse bag thing where the purses cost 33,000, but then it cost them like 1,400 to make. That's what I feel like we're in right now. And people should really stop purchasing at these prices. Wait for discounters. Unless you really like it or you have the money and it doesn't matter, then do what you want. But if you're just chasing every fragrance, I would really wait. I would advise people, please wait. Don't rush to purchase because someone said this is the best smelling fragrance in the world. It might be. Just wait till you could pay for it cheaper.
Yeah.
You know.
And yeah, this the one thing that I like to say on my channel, and I know a lot of people in this obviously in this chat follow me, but most of you are not newbies, but right, the fragrance spectrum, unfortunately, the social media spectrum, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, unfortunately, is more paid promotion than um, real fragrance reviews, unfortunately. So what happens is all new releases get hype. But look 6 months later. I always say this, like I always say, like I see it, right? I'm just like, oh, another one getting hyped because free bottles. Let's see where they go 6 months later, right?
Yeah,
And
you
it's
didn't hear
usually the
about it.
case, right? Yeah, exactly. Why? Because the checks stop coming in. Most promotions, and again, I still get these emails. Some companies, I don't know. I keep saying no, and they just keep coming back. But it's the same thing. It's one video, two videos at most. The only one that did want to do more videos is Soy Boy because they were going to give me $35 a bottle a sale. So they just said, do as many videos as you want. We'll send you more. You want to do giveaways? We'll send you more bottles. Um, right. And that was
Yeah,
I
that
was in
was.
that, everybody, Curly probably took advantage of that the most. And again, it's, if she's selling, let's say 100 bottles at $35 a pop, and that's what I got. Maybe she got more because she has more subscribers. But that's, if that's what I got, 35 bucks, like every time someone uses that code, their code, they get 35 bucks. So just think about that. And that's why there's the opportunity of making thousands of dollars off of you, unfortunately.
I have something good to say about that. I would say this, right? I understand that you should make money if you're taking this full time. If this is what you want to do for a living, that's great. Make your money. But what I would advise is, especially for the women in that S boy case, what I would say is that, this guy just got sued for $4 million for having issues with a woman doing physical whatever he did to her. I don't want to say in this channel, but you can look it up. And he just lost $4 million. And this is his fourth time getting charged like this. So I look at the females in the industry and I'm like, wait a minute. Why would you support a guy like this? I mean, do you not see what he is doing to women? That's all I'm saying. You know, I don't like individuals like that. I don't really respect that. Like,
Mhm.
if that's what you're doing, you're bugged out. And if for the females who were promoting him, you already knew he had 3 prior cases to beating up women. So in that aspect is where I say people have to know what kind of business they're doing. And he's been known for doing other schemes. Nintendo sued him. It's not like anything new with this guy. You know, so yeah, that's another good look for the community. If you're gonna make your money, make it, but don't let people take advantage of the community.
Mhm. Good points. But those female reviewers, like if you've seen their videos, they don't do the research at all. So they just get an email and they go, okay, that's what I'll do. Like, what do you want me to say? Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's there's no research involved at all. Like they don't even, like properly say the nose's name or make any actual research on the fragrance or the fragrance brand's history. Um, those are things that to me personally, when I'm watching a fragrance review and a reviewer says, like they're doing a fragrance review, let's say on this, okay, and they start talking about Chris Maurice as the parfumier, and they start saying, oh, okay, well, he's known for utilizing oud in this fragrance and that fragrance and this, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do with this. That is something that's a positive for me. I'm like, okay, this person knows, they know Chris Maurice, they know the brand of Zerjoff, they know this and that. Those are things that I look out for in a fragrance reviewer. It doesn't mean that you have to say that kind of stuff, But when it's sexy that, compliment getter this, it's beast mode, it's right, here's my code. It's, you can't expect them to actually look at a check and go, no, I'm not going to do this because I just did research on the guy. No, they half of
You
them
know,
probably half of them probably only know him from one song.
it's crazy because I really like when it comes to the females, I really just look at them like I understand that girls like I go to Erica, Uda Erica, I go on her live sometimes and I like saying hi to her. Because hey, we're both content creators. I don't really have an issue. I didn't really come into this business to like if I don't respect what you're doing, there's some guys I don't respect what they're doing. I don't have to say their name, but I don't respect what they're doing. But when it
Mm.
comes to the females, I just like, I go on Erica's live, going back to what I was saying, and guys are just jumping at her. I have to get off the live. I'm like, yo, Erica, I'm out. Because these guys are trying to get with her the whole time. Did you see Reddit? They posted Curly had to go up there and say, "Hey man, I'm not doing no nudes." I'm not, she's like,
Really?
"Yo, I'm not." Yeah, she was like, "I don't have to do that to make money." So these guys are just that's why I look at them like I don't even know what to say because imagine if she has to make a video saying that you're asking for her nudes. It's kind of crazy to me, you know. And when I joined Erica's live, those guys they're desperate. I was like, let me get out of here. But I
Yeah.
say hi to her and keep it moving.
Yeah. Okay, but can you
I'm
blame
not
those
saying
guys?
they're
Like
right. No,
that's the
I'm
way
not
they
saying they're
portray.
right for what they're doing. If they're making just to because they're taking advantage, that's on them. But I see what happens the other end as well. It's like it's a weird situation there. And hey, if you want to make the money that way, I mean, what
Yeah.
can I tell you?
Yeah, you
I
can't
don't do it.
you can't you can't blame the guys because that's what they invite, right? Like Curly like does talk like that. She sells
Yeah, no,
herself
they
like
put the
that.
video. Yeah, no, I can't
So
defend. I'm not defending what they're doing. If people want to watch them, I mean, what am I
that's what you're
supposed to
gonna get.
say? Yeah, like what? Yeah, exactly. Like, and then you're putting posts like that. So, I don't subscribe. I like the when Curly first dropped her first year. You know, she was just fun, exciting. But hey, the money came in and things change. I mean, some people stay focused. And others, just they want to get what they want to get.
Yeah. So Sean Shear is asking greatest flex from the collection other than total numbers. He says I own around 12 bottles of OG M7 fresh, and most are still sealed in the box. So greatest flex from your collection.
If it's just one fragrance,
Uh, just flex on us, I guess. Other than saying you have a lot of cologne.
yeah, 2012 Aventus.
Okay. Can I does 2010 Aventus trump that?
Yeah,
Okay, I win.
yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely.
Uh, if you have patience, you can usually find a fragrance you want discounted. Yeah, patience is very important in this game. I have a wish list. It's as old as dirt. It was an Excel sheet that I started in 2007. There is still some, and it's in order. So when I buy something, I just knock it off, and then just the rest pile up. So I still have fragrances from 2007 that I wanted, long discontinued. They're still on the list. Haven't found them for the right price. Actually, one of them from that list is right here. It is Eric Goutal's Ninfio Mio, which is a fig-based fragrance from Eric Goutal. I discovered this in super early in my game, and I sampled it, loved it, just got it. So that's like possibly almost 20 years. in the waiting, and it's not a super expensive fragrance. It's an Anik Goutal, but I just couldn't find it anywhere. So yeah, Senator Days Rooster Royale. Holy, I've never heard of Rooster Royale and the House Barnyard Bravado. Okay, Christine's in the house. Montal Lucky Candy. Christine likes her sweet things, I think. Because I'm pretty sure last video I saw her was Kirky and she liked Kirky. Been following since 2010. That is a long time viewer. Montrese, nice to see you. There you go. So another thing that you wanted to talk about is how brands can help protect their product. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I can definitely. But before I say that, I want to say this
Yeah,
too. Even though I see content creators do things that I may not agree with, for
yeah.
me, I came in here to just sing my piece. As far as fragrances, and I always see it as a fun hobby. It was just something for me. Like, I come in here, I have fun, I meet good people. It's just fragrances. But I kind of, when I walked in here, I was like, "Whoa, what is this place? This ain't even what I was looking at as a when I was a subscriber to walking into this game. Yeah, it's two different things." But I'll go into how brands can change what was happening to them. I think if they focus, because I'm working on a U.S. patent and it's been in there for over 3 years. So what they need to focus on is their bottling, their designs. So if they were to patent these bottles, patent certain things on them, on top of the logo should be like a Chanel logo, you know, where if anybody even came close to trying to mimic that, then they can sue and take these companies down. Exactly. But the thing is, if you don't do that, that Chanel's nice. I have it with you. If you don't do that, you can't patent peach. You can't patent a civet. Why? Because you didn't make the civet. You didn't make the peach. So in order for you to patent something, you have to be the creator of it.
Mhm.
And if you didn't create the product, you can't create the solution. Like you can't create the peach, the apple, the oud if you didn't make it yourself. So if you didn't make this and you got it from nature, that's how come medicine is not done with nature, right? They don't use herbs in medicine at all, right? It's all synthetics because
Yep.
you can't patent what you didn't make.
However, brands can patent notes that they make. So, like IFF has a proprietary note that could be a little different from, let's say, an oud. They have their own synthetic oud that is smells a certain way. They've patented it. Nobody else can use it. So that's how they kind of protect their formulas, is that they're going to throw something in that has that proprietary piece in there. So things like maybe like an Akigala wood, a different type of ambroxan. There's one that's called what is it called? Ambrofrex or something like that. So they are doing that
I
in a
think
way.
they could patent how they assembled it, right? But what I mean is they can't stop you from using that oud, right? And they can't stop you from trying to make that composition. You see, that's
Well, yeah, yeah. Well,
but they can't stop other people for trying, like other companies, for example. Let's say, like you take this DNA, Manifesto. Me and you
mhm,
both know this is Silver Mountain Water, right? It's a Silver Mountain Water, but a
right.
barbershop style. So they take this, do it their way. No, yeah, it's not Silver Mountain Water, but they can't get in trouble for taking that. And even though they can't mimic maybe the same thing Cree gets, but they're not getting penalized for attempting it,
Yeah.
you know? So
No, no.
they could, you're right. They could, I could see them patenting the design of that one note. like if they like how you said they add something to it, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
But say like in my patent, right? For example, my patent, if you remotely do anything near that, I can stop you and sue you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of weird that way. But it'd be nice for them to personally. For me, I have no real. I don't have anything in the game in regards to clones. If brands started knocking down clones and started suing them left and right, um, even the bottle, like I don't
Yeah,
know how they get away with the bottle shape, exactly the
because
same color, all that.
because these brands aren't doing design patents. Then and you
Mm,
can't then once you don't do that, you have no power, no jurisdiction on them. You can't
right.
because you can't yeah, because you can't stop them from making the same smelling fragrance you make. They may not get the same material to ever make it the same, but they
No, it's
can
right.
make a mimic of it.
Yeah,
But now if you don't protect your idea,
yeah.
you know, it's
I'm so not a fan of like our moths and that Latafa, bro.
yeah, I don't
Like
buy that.
because I decant right for a website. They send me that stuff because it's a hot seller and they come out broken and stuff. So people send them back. Then they come to
Okay.
me because they can't sell them. So they want me to decant. So I get tons of Armoff and Latafa, and it doesn't touch the channel. But imagine me, a guy like me, and I'm just like, oh my god, another like 50 Latafas that I have to decant. And honestly, atomizers, garbage. The bottles are falling apart. Like they're super like fancy. They got all these boxes, and it's like it's leaking all over. I'm just like, this is garbage. Who I don't know. Like I understand because of the designer pricing is so high now that the public, not everybody can afford $200 fragrances. I understand that.
But
Um,
then they should be buying Manceras, Mantels. I mean, it's still better than that, and you're gonna only pay a little bit more.
yeah.
Or buy a
Smell,
bunch of these stuff. Like I really, I
dude,
wear
curve,
obsession to the gym.
original curve. I'm telling you right now.
I
So
don't have
Smelly's got another super chat, so we got to hit up Smelly again. Thank you again, Smelly. I just made $10 USD. So in Canada right now, I probably made $300. So I'm already up. I'm getting a new mic, baby. Thanks, Smelly.
that's it.
Uh,
That's it.
is He's asking, is vintage formulation hunting worth the time and money or stick to the current formulation? So I don't know, Lenny, I don't know if you want to hit that. Or is that something that you do, you care about?
Yeah, no. I mean, I would say this. If you can buy it when you could have and you didn't, let it be. Don't chase nothing. I mean, yeah, I do have vintage stuff, but let's say, for example, let's say my favorite fragrance is the original 2011 or it was 2014 Dior Homme Parfum. Is that in the intense? Those are my top two. So I do like that one the most, that iteration, but the one that came out in 2020 or something like that wasn't bad either. It was just like the rose and something else was a little more fresher. It wasn't as dark as the one I have. So I wouldn't have chased the one I have if I would have had that one. I don't know about the new one, but I'm just saying as far as that. So be happy, yeah, if you can get a vintage and you really want it, get it. But be happy with what you get,
Yep.
you know?
I'm in the same boat. Honestly, like I get what I get. And you see it on boards all the time, right? The vintage is this, vintage is that, it's beast mode, blah blah blah. I own both sides of the coin, right? Anything like year 2000 to 2015, I probably have the original. I mega bought stuff. So
Uh-huh.
like the bulk of my collection is those years. So, the original La Nuit de l'Homme, I got it on launch. I got everything on launch, those years. So you name it, I got it. However, when I get something, like let's say, it's been since the 80s, like I got Fahrenheit. I got a 2007 type bottle, right?
Okay.
For me, Fahrenheit's awesome. Would I go vintage? I think I would in that case. I think I
Yeah.
would in that case. but it's by case basis. I think I'm happy with some fragrances that I'm just like, they're talking about vintage, but this one's just okay. It's good enough that I'm not, it's not killing me that I have to go get it. So for me personally, it depends where you are in your journey, because some
Yeah, I mean,
people
look,
are into that kind of stuff, right? Vintage
no, yeah,
hunters and stuff.
I just don't think you probably find one from 80, 88, or 87 when it came out. If you could, I know you would love that. But I found a substitute, and it doesn't smell like Fahrenheit, but that gasoline note, that
Yeah.
note is real in that fragrance. Oh shit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, listen, they're gonna get that. When you push a lot of sex, you're gonna get that reaction. You have to be built for it. You can't get mad, you know. That's what I have to say about them. I don't do that. Like, I know I put a pretty girl on the screen because I'm thinking like any guy that likes girls and wants to watch my channel, I put a girl because you're gonna see me for the next like 20, 30 minutes anyway. So I'm like, everybody puts their face. I get it. It's marketing. It's smart. You put yourself out there as marketing, and it's smart. But for me, again, this is just a hobby for me. It's never been something like I walked in here thinking, hey, I got a nice collection. I'm always buying. The companies eventually going to want to work with me, send me stuff. That's all I really want. If they give me money, I don't know. If I like the fragrance, then yeah, pay me. If I don't like it, then don't pay me. If you really want to pay me, I gotta like it first. You're gonna tell me that I'm gonna come up here and lie for a paycheck? No. But if you really want to pay me, then give me 10 fragrances. I like these 5. Keep your other 5. If you- but I didn't come in here for money, anything. I came in here for, you know, I figured I would just get some bottles for free. I have a large collection. I bought last year like 40, 44 bottles,
Yep.
46 bottles. Like, I don't need a free fragrance, but if I'm going to be on platforms, I'm going to deal with companies. I see everybody gets PRs.
Everybody
Everybody.
except
So
me.
it's not like, I'm not going to promote a brand and then I have to come out of pocket and pay. No, like, if I like it, I say, I'm not going to lie though. If you come to me, I'm not lying. I could buy my own fragrances. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I don't need to buy no fragrances. Like, out of the 47, no, like 44, 42 that I bought, I don't even know if I wore them. Here's one of them. I
Yeah.
just bought Ridgewood. I worn it like twice.
Mm, love that
I
one.
bought Ivory Root. It took me like forever to understand it, and I still haven't really worn it. You know, Look, I bought Crabapple Blossom. I worn it like twice. I mean, I got some really good reactions on it, but I don't even have time to wear them because I'm a gym person. I'm not out here chasing. This is just a hobby for me. I like buying fragrances that I like. And so again, this is how I feel, you know.
Yep.
So if people gonna lie, that's not me, you know. And again, I don't need the money to pay my bills, but if companies were to approach me, this is the way I would work.
Yeah.
And if they don't like that, then I'm good,
Yeah,
you know.
and there is companies that do that they send you stuff. Like the most recent one I heard was YSL. They sent out a bunch of PR of their new bottles, their new high-end line. The baby cat and all that, they all got different
Oh yeah,
bottles.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
sent
yeah.
like 3, 4 to a bunch of influencers, but one guy panned them, and he told me his story, and he's like, YSL told me that they're not going to send him anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting. But that's the kind of thing. Like, look, they just sent you. How much are those YSLs? They're probably like $300-$400 a pop. They sent 4 of them, so that's a big, that's a big flex and a big price tag to pay. How many people in this community would actually, do you want to continue that? It doesn't matter about the paycheck behind it.
I don't
There
need
might not
I don't
be.
need the
There might
I
not
don't
be
need
a
to buy.
paycheck behind it, right? It'll be more, you got $1,200 worth of bottles, and sure, you're saying that, but how many people are not going to say that, right? They're going to say, I'm
Yeah,
just going to
that's different.
nice
Yeah,
things, right? Because I want
yeah,
the trough to continue.
yeah.
So RXL's calling you out here.
Listen, man. Listen. I'm gonna say something to RXL. You know, he has to address
Careful.
the situation, whatever. He has to address his situations. You know, I'm never coming at people online. Just address his situations that he has to address. That's all I can really say at this point to RXL. You know, um, and that's it. That's all I can really say to him. But yeah, I think for me, since I could just spend 300 a month and I could just buy what I really want anyway, it don't really bother me. Like I want to buy a bunch of Serzoutons, a bunch of kerosenes. I bought a bunch of Dias and Durgas already last year. So uh, to me, all I need to buy is like 2 bottles a month, three at most. And with my collection, I don't really care. Like all I can say is that I have an experienced nose. So I like a lot of things, but it doesn't mean I'm going to say it's a masterpiece just because you gave it to me. No, like, for example, I really like Ridgewood, right? I do like this fragrance. I don't think it's better than Cormandel, though. That's just me. So I'm not going to come up here and lie if they gave it to me. I could, like, I'm just not going to do it. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need it. I don't need it like that. You know.
All right,
I'm
Rick.
not
Rick
rich or
told me.
anything.
Rick told me in the comments there, he's not calling you out. I was just saying that he was saying, how do you expect men to act in some of those female fragrance reviewers' audience when they only have one thing to offer, and that's what their audience is going to ask for?
Well,
That's
I
what
would
I
have to
meant
say,
by him calling you out.
okay. Again, that's not my style. If you go to my channel, I'm always telling men, find the right woman, be faithful, believe in the Lord. Yeah, I might put a pretty girl up there to get you to watch my channel, but when you come in and watch it, I'm not talking no crazy stuff. I may talk crazy about fragrances or say some wild ish that may have happened to me wearing a fragrance, but that's just the truth. So, but so if they want to do that, then that's why they're up here with their issue. I don't have those. I can't defend them, but I don't have time to pay mind to them either. I
Yeah,
just don't respect some of the men in this industry because they really like cornballs to me. Like I don't have a problem like females. I know they're not doing the right thing, but whatever. I don't even care. Do what you do. But the men, such little shrimp cocktails, man. Straight up, and I'm gonna call them like that. I don't gotta say their name, whatever. I don't really care. But it's the truth, and they know it, you know, because they give me such a hard time in here. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man, when I walked in here with like a landmine, and I'm like, you know what? I want to say to them, I don't really care. I can make fragrance daily. Every day I could drop so many different videos. So do whatever you want. If I really want to do this, I can just do it. And buying a little bit of bottles every month, I have a new rotation all the time.
yeah. I took a look at your thumbnails, and I was like, oh, okay. Thumbnails are really not my thing. But
Well,
uh,
when I first started, what
yeah,
happened was I used no thumbnails, right?
right.
And then when I went against the S-boy stuff, then they started flagging me, flagging me, flagging me, flagging me. So I wasn't getting no traction. I was getting no traction. Then what I did was I put the females. I said, yo, something gotta work. I threw the females up. I actually got mega traction. But then what did they start doing? Tagging those, oh, look at the contents. Then it started dipping. But now I'm at a kill pace. But if I didn't do that, I wasn't getting nothing because they came after
Hmm,
me so hard.
hmm, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, like people act like, yo, they were attacking my channel. Yo, let me tell you, okay, what's his name? Kevin Samuel, right?
Yeah.
From the dead. From the dead. He came after my channel. I got they try to take my channel down. I got two
Oh, his
strikes in one day.
yeah, his family is really protective of his stuff. They have all his social media stuff.
No,
His
and
family.
that's great, but you know how
Yeah.
many people use his stuff every day, and their videos are playing.
No, I know.
Only only
But
thing I did, right? Only thing I did was take a 25-minute skit, put it on a short, and they came after me. 25 seconds, sorry, 25-second skit on a short. They came after me.
you're not
And
the
then
only
yeah, no, yeah. So I'm like, yo, who who cares about a little old channel like me? Like that serious? Like really? I said, okay. I guess this, that's what I say. When I walked in here, it was like a landmine. It was like, oh, but the thing is, I'm from New York, man. I'm not here to be scared or be pushed over. Like, you insane? Nah, I don't live my life like that, and this is just fragrances, you know what I mean? So I'm like, what are you talking about? Like it's just fragrances, and like I said, me watching reviewers in the past, it was a high skill level to what I see today. Like I don't even know what I see.
well,
I
time
respect,
was taken for each video. That's why.
yeah, and I respect certain guys who actually look. If you like cheap fragrances or you like clones, like look, how can I talk bad about a cheap fragrance? I own right. Well, I don't own these. These are my friends, but there's 6 of them here for like he paid like $20. So it's like I'm not here talking bad about a cheap fragrance. I'm saying wear this, but I just wouldn't buy a clone. I would buy these.
Yeah, Curve
If
is great.
if I had to
Still getting
spend,
compliments.
yeah, if I had to spend 20, $25, that's what I'm buying. Now, if you want to go buy Latafa and whatever, hey man, it's your channel. And those things get views. So if that's your gig and it's working for you, hey man, who am I to tell you, it's just not for me. I'm not gonna do it.
Have you met Al from Street Sense?
Yeah, I saw him
Yeah.
at the San Explore.
Wow, he's good people.
Yeah,
Um,
I seen him there.
hmm. You should get
I
in
seen him there.
contact with him. You should go on a Street Sense episode. That'd be
I
great.
tried to, but I don't think he knows me enough.
Doesn't matter. Al's great. Um, anyway, if you need a little push, I'll send him a something. I'd love to see you in one of his episodes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I hit
So,
the street with him. I take down all the pretty girls. Yo, what this smell like? Come here, girl. Smell these things. Because in New York, there are a lot of, like that's another thing too. I think, like we're in a superficial world. I understand that you like things, everybody like things, but people should stop being so. I don't buy fragrance because of the brand. Actually, I don't want to spend that much money on a fragrance because I know that they don't cost that much to make. you know, like
so,
think about it. If you tell me that you got a Boldisia selling for $1,200 and I can go to Vemba and get it for 600, what is it really worth? Because that Vemba guy is getting it for $300 minimum, or like 200, 150. So I'm like, nah, man, it's not, if you can afford it and you like it, buy it. Because I know I'm going to buy some dumb stuff for sure.
you know, it's a good gauge, a good gauge on how much brands sell their fragrances to discounters and stuff. Like that's a good gauge of how much they sell them for. So let's say you got a PDM that retails for $500,
That's crazy.
and then you see it at a discounter for 220. Obviously, you know the discounter didn't pay 250, 500. I know for a fact that PDM actually their distributor in the United States distributes to all the discounters, Fragrance Net, Fragrance X,
Yeah.
even the ones here
Mhm.
in Canada. So the PDMs that they're selling to these guys are much cheaper than the retail, and that's why they're like $200 on discounters.
It's the same thing like the purse thing, right? That's what they're doing. Like, think about it. This Toodle from Tiziani Terenzi, I think they want like 180 when it's discounted, right? So it goes for like three something. And how did they sell it to me for $100? Because that's what I paid. I
Yeah.
didn't pay that
Yeah.
170. I paid
Yeah.
$100 for this fragrance. So
Yeah.
and they had to make money. So that means that they're paying like anywhere between like 60 to $70 a bottle for this.
Yeah. And like
Like,
my guy here on Fragflex, um, when they buy from them, they give them like 50 to 100 testers, even though they know they're discounters. So they don't have a storefront. They know they're going to sell them. Most of
yo,
those come to me. So those are free.
you
Those
know
are
what's
free.
crazy? I was telling somebody that, you know why? Because look, I had a phone call route, right? And I used to do the whole Staten Island. Like, you know where Wu-Tang is from? Yo, I was there. Those streets are crazy. Well, I'll tell you in prep, but so I've been to all the hoods, all the guys, like the guy who knocked out Joe Buttons. I know him. Like, I know all these dudes. Anyways, I was out there selling phone cards. I had my own route. I was selling like 12 million a year in phone cards. So I see how big companies work. I'm like, wait a minute, when they buy this, I know they get like a couple hundred for free.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they send them to me. They send them the testers to me for decant because they get them for free anyway, and they get the most profit out of decants. So because they have to sell the testers for cheaper, right? So now they can sell it in decants because the people don't get the bottle and a decant, right?
Yeah,
So
those big
now they can
testers.
charge retail or more because it's a decant. So it
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
all kinds of business sense.
yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah. No,
there's a
no.
question. There's a question for us here.
Okay.
Do any big brands come after you for negative reviews and comments? They said I made a comment that current creeds are watered down, and my comment was taken down by the reviewer. Yeah, the reviewer has all the power in regard to comments. No brand would go after your comment because they can't.
Yeah, they
Uh,
can.
but they can go after the content creator. But they would go after them in regards to like you
If they're
know,
affiliated, right? I assume.
copyright or something like they'll do something stupid like that.
Okay.
But I don't know on your end, your did you get anything from big brands in regards to I guess a negative review or anything? And then I'll hit
No,
it up.
nobody pays mind to me because I've been shadow banned, but who cares? I like doing my videos, you know. And the best thing is that I got your respect out of everybody. So if you're my favorite reviewer and to get your respect to come in here, man, it's like I did what I had to do. You know what I mean? Because I seen when I walked in here what I saw. So I was like, oh, damn, shit. Like, yo, I
Yeah.
was like, the very few friends that I got from here, was just, thank the Lord, like, so that's it. But when I walked in here, I tell people, whoever's watching us, that we're doing this, it's funny. They could be really funny with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, trying to remember, nobody I'm trying to think here. I know that my YouTube channel got flagged, but it wasn't. I don't think it was about a brand. I'm trying to think about emails that I got because I get so many brand emails. It's just ridiculous. But um,
That's
no,
what I was telling you on your last live. Like, that's why you're so important because people like us who walking in here will never get that respect.
right.
We just wouldn't. They would. We'll be like the grain of sand on the beach for the most part. You know.
Well, and that's
So,
unfortunate. Like I know what
but
brands
it's
look
cool
at.
though. It's like that. You have to start from the bottom. But the thing is, when you walk
Oh,
in here, there are already people in place that won't let you get nowhere if they don't want you to. So, hope you're okay.
no, no, and yeah, I guess RXL did say S-Boy. Yeah, S-Boy were at least very active on social media. When I did my Soy Boy video, they reached out in the comment section and they reached out via email and they're like, we'll send you a bottle, we'll do this, we'll do, and I'm like, no, like I'm not like I could have taken that, And then I could have said, look, I smelt this. I got the bottle, blah, blah, blah. They're going to send me a affiliate code. I'm like, I don't want it. That's the whole point of my video. Why would I do that? And if I'm
I
interested,
smelt it.
like, I don't know, they were, they were very persistent in the emails. They were like, they sent me an email like at least 2 a week for, I'd say, 6 months. 6 months. They were just like, I replied. It's not like I was ignoring them. I was just like, no, I don't have any interest. Thank you.
Look,
Um,
I smelt that fragrance, and all I can say is that is a horrible fragrance to me. You
yeah,
know, uh, and I never say that. If you go to my channel, I never say a fragrance is bad. I usually never even, because I like so much things. I'm not even lying. Like, how many things me and you may not like doesn't mean that I don't like you any less as a reviewer. I don't, and not everyone's gonna have the same taste. But yeah, S boy, no, that's worth like 30, $40. They're charging you 250. That's insane. You know what? I could be honest. This boat this year, you know, I feel this brand is overpriced. But at least this fragrance smells good. And I got it for 220. And that's like, okay, so my cap is 300 a month. If I really want, I'll buy a Serge Mouton. That's 300 right there. So I'm good. I don't mind spending them. It don't hurt. I don't really care. But to tell me to spend $200 on Soldier, that no, no. And respect to all the reviewers who get a paycheck who didn't take that deal.
yeah. No,
I,
I agree. And the ones, I'm sure some people that are on this platform, and I'm just being honest here, I'm sure there's some reviewers that actually like it. My issue is the ones that know better. Um, and I know that they're in it for the money. That was
that's
my
just
issue, is the bigger
trash.
ones. But if
That's just
somebody's new, right, they won't know the value of a set profile. Like if it smells like a cheap $20 designer, if you're new to this, I understand. If you have
yeah.
thousands of bottles in your background, I don't understand.
But see, the one thing I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna rob people for money. I
Right.
just not gonna do that. I don't I don't care what they tell me. I'm not gonna tell you to buy something that I wouldn't buy, whether I got it for free or not. There's no way I'm gonna be like, yeah, buy this fragrance, and then to me it's a dud. I wouldn't do it. But look, if this is a designer house, it's called the Formal, the House of Silage. This is a designer brand that this fragrance smells niche. I would advise
Yeah.
people to buy something like this. You get this at half from the company every 2-3 months. You get this for half price. Yeah, what they want for it overpriced. 300. I wouldn't pay that. But when they cut it in half to like, $140, yeah, I would buy this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So for me, I can't do certain things. I'm just not gonna do it. I wasn't raised like that. You know. But I am a fan. You know, I do like for example, this Arco Haze. Oh my God, I love this fragrance. Yo, this thing
I would get to
is
smell some of that.
this is so damn good, man. I wore this to the barbershop, and so I'm sitting down, right? And I go to my barber, yo, do you smell that? Is that you? He goes, no, that's you. I said, oh, shit, this is good. I was like, hey,
Crest is
yo,
good.
Haze, yeah, this is so
He's
good.
a really good nose. Christine's asking what are our thoughts on Barenia. Have you smelled that? It's from Hermes. I believe that's a woman's fragrance. Well,
No, I never smell. I
marketed
gotta
as a,
get. I'm gonna go back to Bloomingdale's because when I went there, okay, I'm gonna tell everybody this. The new Christian Dior, they have an straight version, right? Don't buy that. If you really want that same fragrance, go buy Sohan from Pennehalligans. It's
which
the same.
the
Um,
extra
yeah,
version.
the Eau de Spawn, that extract one they
Oh, with
got.
the black label. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, don't buy that fragrance. Just go buy Sohan from Penhaligon's. I got it. Because when I went to Bloomingdale, I sprayed it. I was like, "Oh, this is good." But I'm like, "Wait a minute, I got this fragrance," and I'm like, "Yo, Penhaligon's Sohan." I'm like, and they're charging you 480. You crazy?
Well,
Yo,
Uda
I
Spahan's
walked
one
in
of their
there.
top sellers, so kind of putting up in that black label, that makes all kinds of sense for them.
I have to go to the Hermes because that's the only booth I didn't hit. The only bottles when I
Oh,
went in there that I would have purchased full retail, honestly, the only table that would have got my money that I smelled, and I smelled Initio, I smelled what's that, Mind Games, that play by which again,
yeah,
I smelled everything, all the
yeah,
new Tom Ford. Look, I'm a Tom Ford lover. I love all his old stuff. I'm not paying $400 for 50 mil. That's just me.
yeah,
Eh, But I love, yo, for me, one of my gems in my fragrance collection is Oud Wood Intense. That is like, that should be in my top 10, you
yeah.
know?
That's
Like,
good.
that is a gem. And then what they're doing today, when I see these brands over, like, that's what I mean. Like, the only brand that would have got my money was Chanel. Because I didn't smell Terre de Mes. That's the only table I didn't walk to.
Yeah,
But the only one that was getting my money on three fragrances was Chanel. That's it.
yeah,
Comet, 22, and then they had a vintage bottle there that I was like, that was the only table that would have got my money. And I smelled everything except Hermes. I because I smelled all the Tom Fords. I was there. I had that lady going crazy. I smelled every single new Tom Ford, all of them, and I was just like $400. I was like, these brands are crazy. It's
but they're
just
not, because designer fragrances now are $200, so they have to keep going. They
yeah,
have to
that's
keep
what I mean.
going
And
up.
then people are paying it. To me,
Yep.
that's really the crazy part. Like when do you say to yourself, this is out of control? Like,
By
look,
the
I
way,
bought
Christine,
African.
oh, just
Go
want
ahead. No,
to
I'm sorry.
answer Christine there. I haven't smelt it, but I can definitely get a sample if you want me to do a video. I don't mind. I can put it on my list. I get like tons of samples, so but I know it's a newer Hermes, and yeah, I wouldn't mind if you want to watch see a video, let me know. But keep going.
Yeah, so like I said, look, I brought African Memo, right? I mean African leather from Memo Paris. When I first seen this, I was like, $200. I don't want to spend that right now on that. It was a 75 mil. So I was kind of like, I could buy an Amouage or something like that. So I just waited. I paid 135, no tax. Like this thing is a masterpiece. I love this fragrance. You
Yeah.
know? So it's like that's what I mean. Just wait, man. Don't spend that type of money on a fragrance. It's not worth it. You
Ooh,
know,
that's right.
it's not necessary.
The perfume guy, Sebastian's old channel got shut down because of Bond Number 9. They were
Who's bashing
they
him?
they are not influencer friendly, we'll say.
And you know what? That's why I don't even bash companies. Like as far as what I mean by, I'm not
Mhm.
buying what I don't like. So there's no need for me. Now, if you give me stuff and I don't like it, I don't like this fragrance, and if people who like these notes or like it, you know.
It's unfortunate because that was early on in YouTube, in social media, like TikTok didn't exist, things like that. And it was, I would say at that point there was probably 20 reviewers on YouTube, and we were just starting getting into niche, right? We were introducing Creed to YouTube. We were introducing Bond. As far as we were delving into brands, those were the first niche brands coming on YouTube because there was no
Yeah.
videos on any of these. Like you, I don't know if any of you can actually compute this, but there was no reviews on any niche at all. Like when I first started, none, zero. Like I was me and several others. We started going Muscat Vajar, Serge Jutan. Like it was just started peppering YouTube. So Bond Number 9, it sucks for them because they didn't embrace the community. There was no free bottles at that point, but at least instead of shooting a cease and desist to one of our members, which now refuses to talk about the brand. And honestly, their brand's not that great, but unfortunately, now nobody's talking about Bond number 9. Like, they are
They
trying to
curse
have a social
themselves.
media presence, but and TikTokers, they're giving out free bottles to TikTokers and trying. But on YouTube, it's dead. Like, the only people that are talking about Bond number 9 are people that are actually buying those bottles online. Unfortunately, so fortunately and unfortunately, I guess. Um,
I mean,
so
I do want to buy some Bond number 9s, but again, I don't think I'm gonna bash them because I'm gonna buy what I like. You know. Now, what I mean by that is if I see the right price, because I have a budget. If I can get any fragrance for $200, it don't matter to me. I'm not paying 300, 400. If I'm gonna pay 300 right now for a fragrance, I'm looking at Promise. I'm looking at what's this other one from that company? Portrait of a Lady. Um, Again, if I'm gonna spend $300, I'm looking into some. I really want to go to Twisted Lilies because I want to smell all the kerosenes. Because I was thinking of just like one day buying like 5 or 6. Walk
yeah,
in there, maybe get like a little discount, buy 5 or 6 of them because I really like that brand. And for the price for 150, man, it's amazing for what you're getting.
yeah. But yeah, while you're at Twisted Lily, try to tell them that you're influencer. They might give you some free bottles, bro.
Exactly. I mean, I'm gonna take advantage of me doing this, right? I'm like, if I'm gonna come
Do
up
it.
here, why should I be paying full price for anything? I'm never gonna go through these bottles.
You tell
If I
them.
bought, yeah, like if I bought 40 something last year and I haven't even gone through one of them halfway, not even one. How do you expect? Why should I be paying full price? No way. Now, if you're just watching me, it's different because you don't have 600 fragrances. So for me, I look at this very different. I look at this like, why should I spend so much and give you all the shine for free? No, I don't want money from you, and I'm not going to lie for you. But give me some free bottles if you want. If not, then no. That's just
I
me.
I love being independent. Like, I can
Yeah,
just
I don't want nobody
go.
telling me what to do.
You know me, like, I just, like, one day I'll, you'll see a review of me and I'll just be like, you know what? No one's handcuffing me. I'm not, scared
Yeah.
of going, oh, they're not gonna sponsor me. I'm not gonna get, you know, and that's, I like that. I love that freedom. Fragrance Toto Supreme. Thanks for the $5 Canadian, which is great. What is the best Middle Eastern niche house since Amouage no longer holds that?
I don't feel that
Um,
way. I don't know. I Have you smelled their last 3 releases? The Reason, the other two. Have you smelled
no,
them?
no, my
I would say,
my decant site was going to send me those bottles to decant, so I didn't buy decants last round. And then they got issues with shipment. So now I don't know if I'm going to get those bottles or not for decant. If I am, then I'll unbox them and smell them. If not, I'll just get decants and do a proper samples. I hear good things.
I was
Um,
impressed, man. Look, in San Explore, those are the 3 best fragrances. I was really impressed.
um, Amouage is, I don't know where to start with them, honestly. I honestly, as far as best Middle Eastern niche house right now, that's not my strength in regards to Middle Eastern brands. I can't really tell you, and you might know that or not, but Amouage personally still holds the crown for now because of my lack of experience, and I have no shame saying that. I don't care. Like, I don't go on here trying to puff up my chest and saying I know everything. So right now, Amouage still has the crown, even though I feel that recently they've been kind of disappointing me a little bit. So, but we'll see. We'll see with these. I hear really good things. Like you said, Lenny. A lot of people do love these new releases, which is good to hear. That's what
Yeah.
I want that brand to win. Trust me, I'm the last person that wants to see them get bought out by L'Oreal, and they are no
Yeah,
longer what
return
they
to
were.
it. Yeah,
But I'm kind of seeing that they sold a portion of their brand. Eventually, it's going to be full blown. There's a reason why you're selling a
yeah,
piece. You're going to be selling more. So I hope that answers your question. Unfortunately, my lack of experience, that's what it is. I'm hoping to bulk up my experience. A lot of Middle Eastern brands, you're always thinking clone houses and cheap houses, but there's also some great ones out there. But I need to sample more. Christine got back to me. Yeah, sure. I'll put it on the list. I love Hermes products. Most of them are well built. It might not be my taste. And discovering more, yeah, definitely. So I'll put Barenia on the list next time I go sample Hermes fragrances. No problem there. Love discovering. Oh, merci. We got some French there.
you know what? I would say this. I think if your channel is what you want to do, people like I see the perfume guy. He takes a dump on some fragrances, and some fragrances he doesn't.
Yeah,
And I know he gets ton of free stuff sent to him. I
yeah,
see him
yeah.
in
He
real
does.
life. Yeah, so
He's
I know he gets tons of stuff sent to him. I mean, and he does whatever he wants, and he still gets fragrances. I
yeah.
I think it's if you refuse to do something, you don't have to do it.
Yeah, for the perfume guy, and again, like he is a friend. We do talk, and I know he has a really good day job. So he doesn't need freebies, but he takes them. Um, and he's taken less of them, but he looks at this a little different than I do. He is looking at this as not a second career, but a career in a way. So
Okay.
the way he builds his stuff, you can see that he really wants to have rapport with brands. So, me, it's completely opposite of that. It's not like I hate brands, but I'm very cautious. When they approach me, and most of the time it's not about, hey, right, let's collaborate. Like I would
Yeah.
love for a brand like, let's say, Amouage, call me up and forget the free bottles and just be like, hey, would you like to make like a couple, videos about our factory? Or even a brand that would reach out to me and say, we want to make a fragrance with you. It would have to be the right deal, but I want to make it fun and I want it to make it great. I don't want to be, when Navitus reached out to me, it was pre-done goop. I don't have an interest in that. There's
Yeah. No.
no there's no artistic side to it. And then what do I have to tell my audience that I worked so hard on this with a perfumier? That's effing lie. And you're going to charge
Yeah.
them $300 when it costs like $7 to make, and you're not going to budge on the price. I personally don't think that's right.
Yeah. Me neither.
All this stuff like influencer fragrance brands that are asking $300 or more out of you.
Yeah.
I
Crazy.
wouldn't feel good doing that personally.
Yeah. Me neither. No. And you know what's funny? You can buy a friend of mine that is a reviewer. He gets some for like $90 on Navitus. $85, $90.
Yeah.
So why would you pay? And that's yeah. See, I'm not. If I'm backing a product and I know the materials are worth it, then yes. But I'm not gonna. Again, that's why I didn't go for the whole S boy stuff. I just not gonna do that. I don't have interest in that.
Frank is disagreeing with me, which is perfectly fine. You're not going to get blocked, Frank. He says that Search is incredible from Amouage. It's an oceanic aquatic incense, kind of like a deeper version of a Rofa. That sounds nice. I haven't smelled Search.
Me
So
neither. I haven't smelled it.
uh, they've been releasing a lot. I can't keep
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And I
I
just the
have like
last one I smelt was Purpose 50 from Quentin Bish, which I didn't like.
I have sweetness with me since I purchased my fragrances, right? I look at it like this. Yeah, Amouage to me is, I mean, I like Beverly Hills exclusive, I mean, Unique Luxury the most because they're like, to me, they're an underdog brand and I like what they're doing. But honestly, if it's about, for me, every fragrance is a hit, because even though I like Unique Luxury more, as far as I always say, because they're an underdog brand, but Amouage gets a lot more hits. You know, there's something I don't like about Unique Luxury. Some of their aquatics, I'm not a big fan of. But when it comes to Amouage, yeah, they have a. I could blind buy so many of their things, and I'm not disappointed. You know.
Dude, when I first discovered Amouage, and this was, my Jubilation 25, that's when I first discovered. That was my first one. I bought a 50 mil. I still have the
Yeah,
same model.
I know. I'm like,
And I only bought that because of the nose, Beltran de Chafour, which I started discovering him in 2010 with Artisan Parfumeur, which is another niche brand. So I
okay.
was kind of following his footsteps, and I was like, "Oh, he did one for this Middle Eastern brand. They look interesting. They're really expensive. Let me blind buy this." And that was just and then the Christopher Chong era started. Right, that was the
Oh yeah,
Christopher
that
Chong,
era is the yeah. I have so many of his. That's the
and
thing.
I just
Yeah,
blind bought them
like
all.
you know what
Fragrance
fragrance gets. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry, Mark.
Fragrance Supremes is asking if I reviewed any Rogue perfumery. I have not. They are on the list. I don't know. Have you smelt any, Lenny, or no?
No, that's
Rogue.
why I want to go to Twisted Lilies because I want to
Okay.
smell all these things. Like I
Right.
want to go in there. But I am going in there to buy kerosene. Like that's what I'm gonna do. But then I want to smell everything else. You know, because I really respect brands like that are charging you 150 for a fragrance like that I purchased because of you. The coffee fragrance. When I see that a masterpiece, I'm like, yeah, for 150, yeah, this is a brand you gotta at least represent, show love to so that people can buy stuff at this price range. You know, because this is what you should be paying. You shouldn't really be paying three, four, five, unless it's what you want and fine, but that shouldn't be the norm. It just shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. But Frank's gonna check out Purpose 50 and he's gonna report back. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I gotta say, I just started wearing Epic Man. Oh, Epic is epic. Like it's named aptly, which was Doc's favorite fragrance. I love Doc.
Yeah,
He's
dry dog, I remember him. Yes.
I wish he came back, but um
I saw he took a loss of fragrances, man. I felt bad for him when he moved to Florida, he said, and
yeah,
then he lost Fred, and I was like, that sucks, bro. And he
yeah,
said he was gonna buy some and start and go back, but I
no,
don't blame him. I mean, think about it. What you're walking into is a mine. It's like this is a landfill of mines. It's wild. So
yeah.
for people who kept it honest, this is not what they want for the most part.
Well, they all left after Jeremy Fragrance showed up. They just went, "Oh, this is where it's going." Like once people started seeing that it worked, um, that's when other reviewers started coming in, and it
Yeah,
was
but if
just
you
like,
look at Jeremy Fragrance, why would you want to be this guy? He's sticking bottles in his mouth. Like
well,
what?
no, well,
This guy, they got him on pictures. I'm not even gonna say, but let's just say he had the lines all over him, and they have about So you look at this guy like this is what you want to be. Whatever, man. This got to be crazy.
no, well, no. Before that, there
No,
was
no,
none of
he
that.
was. Yeah, I mean, God bless him. He did a lot of things, but he also did a lot of. Remember the time when he had the whole, oh, I need a laptop, and he bought a Ferrari.
Oh,
Remember?
he's
I mean, this dude is, like you look like, all right, whatever, man. It worked, good looking guy, chasing down girls, had the whole appeal, the image, but it's over. It's done. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's holding on to it, but yeah, like back then he used the females, right? No reviewer had like he had model friends because he was in a model agency back then.
yeah,
So he used that to his advantage. Good
yeah.
for him. and others are still using that thing
Yeah,
just to
that
kind of what's that?
listen, yeah, if you want to sell yourself, that's
Yeah.
on you. I mean, I'm not
Scent,
gonna do it.
scent of the night, I went cheapy. I went with one of my high school scents, CKB. I wore this. This was probably second or third fragrance ever for me. Um, and I'm just wearing it today because I kind of just wanted to go back in time. I overvalue this, and a lot of us overvalue a fragrance just because of the story it tells. So CKB is close to my heart. If I ever sold my whole collection, I would actually keep CKB. First of all, I can't make much money off of it. First of all, second of all, it's the memories attached to it, which is important. So like fragrances like Le Male is important for me. So like all these really expensive fragrances that you see me that I have, I would have no issue selling them because there's nothing attached to it. They're not that important. But that's my scent of the night tonight. Just eat cheapy.
Yeah, well, I guess I say mine again, but mine was Bodacious from House of Bodacia. I just got it today. I wanted to see how good it was. But honestly, I remember CK1 when it first came out. That was the first unisex fragrance that came out, and it was pretty good. And that was like, I remember being a teenager when that dropped.
Yeah, good old CK1. Yeah, good old that fragrance spawned a good 12 years of brands trying to do the
Hmm.
next CK1. Rainy Sunday. Love the wide range of frags that you mentioned today and previously, Janet. I bet you're fun to perfume shop with. Okay, the ladies are talking.
Oh, nice,
Is it
nice.
just me or was 80s designers better than any niche today? I saw my poor little beautiful CK obsession pop up at the rack store. Hey, the CK Obsession, as much as it's 20 bucks at a discounter, um, is probably your best bang for your buck. Honestly, men and women. It is a gorgeous set that still works today. Um, but
Go
Christine
right
does
to the
have
gym.
Christine has a point here. A lot of great 80s designers, and some are still kicking to this day, just because they are that great. Um,
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you dropped Obsession, you dropped Eternity, the real Polo Green, you dropped Cool Water, even though I never smelled the Green Witch, I mean the Green Irish Tweed. I would love to have smelled that. But that original Cool Water, whoa, if you drop that today, Eternity, when they first dropped, Mark, this the you remember that show with slime? They had the slime when you was a kid, the whole I forgot the name of that show, but they used to have it used to call slime, and the slime would fall on you.
Nickelodeon.
They Nickelodeon, yeah.
Yeah.
So the Eternity looked like that. It was a lime green, I mean, but a bright lime green.
Yeah.
These fragrances, if they would have dropped today, even Ramsey speaks of one. It comes in a blue bottle. It's a CK1, super masculine, 80 powerhouse, sexy. Like my uncle used to rock that because Obsession was like the thing, right? But they had a bunch of other hits, but they came in this blue bottle. That was an amazing fragrance.
Oh, the
Back
original
then,
color.
yeah, if that's what it is, the blue bottle.
80,
Yeah,
81. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that thing was. But to me, Obsession is my favorite of all times. Then Polo Green is second. And the Aqua de Gio, if you dropped it today, I think it would damage Jean Paul Gaultier. Like I said, the 80s and 90s, even though they were making a lot of fragrances, but not like today, there was so much more creativity and they were dropping real gems, like real masterpieces. That if they fell down today, they would beat these fragrances, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of repetition here.
Yeah.
Um, and I've it's been at least 10 to 12 years since I've actually purchased a lot of fragrances that are just coming out like all the time. Like I'm obviously I'm purchasing samples now of all these new releases. I'm just getting them all and testing them. And it's like I'm struggling here. And obviously I have a pretty strong opinion, but
Yeah, I
um
can't do it.
all these
I wouldn't even.
elixirs and I'm trying to think, like, I don't even think, well, I might be able to do a top 5 for 2025 right now. I would highly struggle, doing a top 10.
Yeah, I can't support all those. That's not me. Like I like designer to a point. Um, I don't really like what they're doing for the most part. I
Mhm.
I mean I do like some things, but I don't need to buy the same fragrance 10 different ways, right?
Yeah,
Like when it comes to what parfum, like I say, like 1 million, I love 1 million, but only the parfum. I don't need the rest of them. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying shit. I don't need 10 of the same fragrances. Let me get one. I'm good. Let me get something else.
yeah,
You know, like really, I was gonna buy two amouages. I was gonna buy the Honor and another one. I forgot the name, Wood something. But I said, you know what?
mm,
I don't have. I have already like 24 amouages. I don't got no Bodicias. I'm a collector. Let me just get one. I got it for the right price. You know, like. Or I could have bought two Serge Lutens, but honestly, when I went on Joma Shop, I didn't see the ones I wanted. You
yeah.
know,
I did a sample spree of Bodicias, actually. I got Legend, which is the one that has like the lady on the top, on the cap.
oh yeah, the Iris one. I
Legend.
wanted to smell that, but they want $2,000. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
I love Iris, right? I love Iris, and if that's hits right, and I don't care to spend the money, do I think it's worth it? No, but if I can afford it, then so let it be. But I don't
Right.
tell people like, oh, you gotta buy this because, nah, nah, you wildin', you crazy.
Yeah.
Don't tell people to buy that because you're gonna get that's 2,000. That's somebody's rent. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
you can afford it, then do what you want. You know,
Yeah.
I'm nobody's father. You know, but if you're a
No, no.
regular person, nah, man, don't buy that. You
Well,
know,
the problem is with a lot of these reviewers that do have a large following. Um, they know the power that they have.
with that
And that
bottle,
was
yeah, that makes it so. You
it's
know, like
it's
I'm the king. I got this bottle.
dude, it's
Honestly,
scary. It's like I was at the top of the food chain there for a while in the fragrance game.
I
And
know.
honestly, when I said jump, like some people, like a good group, like you have your group, they would jump and it would be like, some would be angry at you. They'll be like, I just blind bought this. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't tell you to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't
I
say
tell.
buy. I said I love it.
Look
And
for example, a friend of mine, Phrase Connoisseur, that you because remember he went on the live and you were like, do you know this person? I said, yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
me and him are good friends, and he knows that when we were in San Explore, I was going for the most craziest fragrances. I'm like, give me that crazy oud, spray it. That the people were actually pouring the real oud on me. Like, I know you like this. You like the best stuff. Here, smell this. I was going for the craziest fragrances. So honestly, I would tell everybody, do not buy what I'm gonna buy because I'm gonna buy something that you might throw up or jump out of a window. I don't know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody's different. And it's almost like trial and error, right? Some people come on YouTube and they're just very like, and I mean just subscribers, they're just very energetic and they want to learn and they want to buy, they want to smell what you smell and they want to be excited on things that you're excited about. I totally understand it. I try to caution people all the time on brand new releases. Like almost all my brand new videos, I'm just like, it's a brand new release. You don't have
You
to
know,
buy it.
yeah, I think, and you're right. I know that at one point you held the crown, and honestly, the way I see it is, if those days would have just stayed, and I say that because even though you were the top reviewer, there was a lot of good reviewers out there. It wasn't like I used to watch everybody, right? And be like, you don't like this, you like this, and I would take everybody's perspective, and then whether I buy something or not, but it was good to hear everybody's opinion, their own, you know?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
now you don't get that. It doesn't matter, companies should realize that it doesn't matter if I like something or not. Someone's gonna like it. My job as a reviewer is just to explain to you how it smells and works. And I
Yeah.
think that skill set is gone.
Well, not only that is self-discovery's gone because it's all the same brands that give out free bottles. So it's
Bottles. Yeah.
always rinse and repeat. So how are people discovering new brands? They're not because they're in this little box of Zerjoff gives out free bottles. So new Zerjoff comes in, review, positive. Nishio, positive. PDM, positive. It's always rinse and repeat. So what
You,
are your reviewers not evolving because it's free bottles.
yeah.
So they're not, like a channel like mine and multiple others. You could see, their taste, and you could see that they were evolving. Like I went from like 1 million from Paco Rabanne in 2009, Issey Miyake Summer, pure malt, things like that I was excited about. And in 2010, you actually followed my journey that I went into Green Irish Tweed. You started seeing me go different, right?
You know, I really saw a lot of you when you had the Twin Towers behind you, I call.
The twin. One of them's back here. Wait, let me move my head.
Yeah,
Back
no, you
here.
have it back there, yeah.
One of them.
And then yeah, but I to me, like, all you guys were dabbling in everything, even though, like you said, you went from designer to more niche, but you still had a spectrum, and it was your opinion. And everybody was like that, you know.
Yeah.
But and I'm sure that they got free stuff or something, or maybe they got deals, or who knows, you know. But it was just a different era, and I think this era, especially with to me, I feel like these brands focus on just giving it to all these TikTokers or whoever, and then they go off, and then it's just there's no more skill set, man. It's just I got a fragrance, it's new, I like it, it's the best. And they can't even explain the notes. Like, tell me why it smells like this.
Well, it's not even about the notes. It's about not only that, but it's also about your experience, right? That's what's I feel is great. Like when I do a sampling samples, I'm trying to kind of put in experiences, even though they're very limited, because it's only
Yeah,
like
but
3 pairings.
with you guys, I was able to blind buy everything and be successful.
Yeah.
You can't do that today.
No,
I
no.
I blow I blind buy my whole collection. Honestly, I think the only last year is that I sampled for some reason. I made an order from Beverly Hills Perfumery, and they sent me some amouages that I bought, but I was gonna buy them anyway. Overture Man, Royal Tobacco, and I can't lie, Overture Woman is really, really good. Like I'm not into buying feminine fragrances, but that's one feminine fragrance I would buy. But only if I
Amouage.
was single. Yeah, if I was single, Overture Woman would be a fragrance I would wear to when I go out, because that's gonna really make a girl come near me. Because you have to look good and smell good, So if you look good and you smell good, it's a very attractive fragrance. I do like the Overture for Men more, but because of that human and the way it is, maybe it's not built for a club or a bar scene, you know? Maybe you
Yeah.
want to wear something more mass appealing. Now, once you get the girl, what's that? Oh, Celine? Yeah.
Just got the sample pack.
I I smelled, I think, a couple. Maybe they had it. I think they did in the Sun Explorer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You know
know.
what?
I look forward to smelling that brand.
They had these three fragrances, these three blue ones. And if I would have known I would have got deals at the last day, I would have bought them. And one of them takes after damn Tuscan leather, but they did it different. Like it's a raspberry leather fragrance, but not the same. I don't know
Mm,
how they did that. I was smelling it and I was like, what the hell? I said, how'd you do this? I said, this is good. Like usually people who bite Tuscan leather don't do a great job, you know? But
yeah.
they did something good there, man. I can't lie. All three, those three blue bottles. I forgot the name of the brand. I got some samples, but it's on Vemba. There was some hidden gems there in Sun Explore.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And that's the whole point of that, is to discover, right? New brands, new fragrances, get to know people,
The owner,
people that watch you, owners,
yeah.
perfumiers, all that good stuff. Yeah.
And to be honest, when I went in there, a lot of them, because the way I see it's like this: if you present yourself correctly, like I was doing with them, the owners that are there will just give you free bottles if they like you. Now, if you go to them and you try to whatever you do, I don't know, but that's what I did, and they were telling me, "Hey, you could get free sponsor if you want." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have all that information to give you, and if you want to work with me, I'd rather I talk to you. I don't
Yeah.
really care. Like, if I gotta do all these hoops for a free bottle, no, I'm good." But next year, I'll just have a card with my number. But you call me if you want to deal with me.
Yeah.
You send me something, you don't, you don't. You do, you do. But I'm not gonna jump hoops, sign paperwork. I don't know what the hell just to get a free bottle. You know,
Send paperwork.
like, look, I have a skilled nose. I feel like I've been smelling since I was 4. Just give me the bottle. For me to take a dump on a fragrance, you have to suck. I only took a dump on one fragrance in my whole channel, S Boy, the only one. Everybody
Oh
else pretty much gets a good review from me. Or at least explain how the fragrance works to me. You know,
man. Yeah, yeah, no, it's crazy game out there. Um, so we're hitting out 2 hours here.
yeah, we did a lot. I know. Yeah, we
We
did a
we
lot. We
totally
did a lot.
passed the 1 hour mark that I was planning to.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. I know, man. Sorry about that.
no, it's my own fault. Usually I do the 1 hour heat check there just to make sure that you're good. But yeah, we're 2 hours in. And I really appreciate you, first of all, Lenny, for coming on. If you haven't subscribed to Lenny, please do. Channel name the Man Cologne. And yeah, a great guy. It was great getting to know you a little bit more here on the channel. I always
Yeah,
see you in
yeah.
the comments, so
Yeah,
it's
I'm always in there. I be trying to get first place, but ever since I started doing that on your channel, man, these guys are beating me. They're like, "I got you. I'm first place." I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Yeah, forget about it." I'm like, "Oh well, you know, I do the best I can."
no, you got to wait till I review another Paris Hilton, then you'll be
That's
first.
what it is. Yes.
That's what it is. I was doing a whole bunch of those decant bottles there, and it was all like celebrity scents and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'll do just for fun. I'll do videos, and yeah, those don't get too much love, but you always gave me love, so I appreciate that. And not only that, you're a huge community guy, and that's what I see is that I see your name everywhere, which is always nice. I remember a few reviewers at the start of this whole thing. One, sadly, he passed away about 6 years ago. His name was Chris, and he was a guy that was a community guy. It was like near the end of like the community, basically. Like Jeremy was here, and like people were starting to go into like little cliques and stuff.
Hmm.
But that guy was in everybody's comments, so positive, and supporting people. And you kind of remind me of him a bit in regards to that kind of stuff, that you're uplifting other people. How many reviewers are going on other people's channels and just supporting them? So I really appreciate that, and I hope that this does help your channel. Not that you need it, but you got my support. I don't know
That
about those thumbnails with the girls though, bro. We got to get rid of
yeah,
that.
it ain't getting me no views right now either, man. But I just with me, I'm just not. I don't really care to put my face. Like I just feel like it's just, or maybe when I decide to maybe up my channel or do certain things, but I do it from my phone. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, if you ever need, well, I'm not the most viral guy, but if you ever need any help on YouTube, I'm here for you.
Okay.
We got that Discord now that you can easily contact me.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and again, if you need advice or anything like that, I'll do my best to help you out.
Sounds
As
great.
always. But yeah, I do like your, the kind of stuff that you do on your channel. The most stuff that I watch, I don't watch the girl thumbnail ones, but in the lists and stuff, because that's just not my thing, right? But I do watch you when you have like an opinion on certain things that are happening in the community or something like that, or you're shouting out someone. I'm always watching those videos that I see from you, but I'm not a list guy, so that's just my honesty. Not saying that you shouldn't be doing that, because those are great for views, honestly. But yeah, thank you for having to come on, first of all.
Yeah, yeah.
Really appreciate it. And yeah, keep doing your thing. And yeah, hopefully we'll have you back on here. Maybe we'll have, I'm kind of thinking of doing more lives, but like maybe have like almost a panel of people. It might be nice to have like maybe three or
That sounds
four
good.
people. So we'll see. But again, thanks, Lenny, for your time. Thank you to the chat. It was great. I think we had I think the highest we had was around 80 from what I saw, which is great for a
That is great.
Thursday night, right? It's not a weekend, so it's
Another
always good.
weekend.
And but I'll leave this video up, and I think tomorrow morning there I'll put the link of Lenny's channel in the
My
comment.
phone might my phone might die, so if it goes, it
Okay.
goes.
All right, bro. Well, see you later. And to everybody, thank you so much for all your time, and see you on the next one.
God bless.
Bye.